guilty of murder in the third and manslaughter in the second degree. Tell us the response of the family of Justine Damond Ruszczyk when that was announced by the jury.
Yes, good morning, Virginia. It was an incredibly dramatic moment in the court. The judge's clerk first read out the not guilty charge of third-degree murder, and then, of course, the guilty findings on third-degree murder and second-degree manslaughter. I was sitting about a metre from Justine's fiancé, John Damond, and he had tissues brought over to him by the court staff as he wept in court, and the family embraced, while Mohamed Noor was found not guilty of the most serious charge, second-degree murder. The two guilty verdicts seemed to make the family happy, though we'll hear from them directly pretty soon.
As you said, the most serious charge he was found not guilty on. Does that mean that the sentence now might end up being a non-custodial one?
No, it doesn't, Virginia, and in terms of sentencing, it has very little practical effect. The sentences for second-degree and third-degree murder are the same. That's a range of about 9 to 15 years, so even if Mohamed Noor had been found guilty of second-degree murder, the verdicts are served concurrently rather than consecutively, so that means that he would effectively have faced the same sentence, which he'll be sentenced in early June.
And what was the response from Mohamed Noor?
Well, we didn't actually see Mohamed Noor give a response. Justice for him was swift. He was stoic as he was handcuffed and led out of court. I was just a few metres away from his mother as well. She had her head in hands during the verdict, but the rest of his family did not say a word as they left the courtroom, and neither did Mohamed Noor, who was led away and we understand will be taken straight to prison.
Did the judge have anything to say, Connor?
No, it was compared to all the other proceedings in this case, which has gone for about 5 weeks, remarkably swift in the end. What happened was the jury filed into court. They handed up a note to a sheriff's deputy who brought it to the judge. She read it to herself and then handed it to her clerk for the verdicts to be read officially to the court. She didn't say anything really of substance. After the verdict was read out, she remanded Mohamed Noor in custody and set his sentencing date for, I believe it's June 9. And then, that was it. Justice was done.
Shooting deaths actioned by police is one of the most controversial and divisive issues in America, of course, and we've seen race riots sparked by it. We've seen a civil rights movement, if you like, sparked by those shootings as well. So more generally speaking, what will this mean then, given that we now have a murder and manslaughter conviction for an acting police officer in the force? What will this mean for this discussion in America?
Well, it'll be hugely influential, Virginia. This is the first time in this state, the state of Minnesota, that a police officer has been convicted over an on-duty shooting. You mentioned it is one of the most controversial topics in America, and added to that, in this case, you have the equally controversial topic of race. Of course, Mr. Noor is Somali American, and his defence team made much of that during the hearings. There's already been some talk that he may have been treated differently if he was a white police officer. Of course, for Justine's family and supporters, that won't matter today. They just wanted justice to be done. In their eyes, it has been done. It was an incredibly comprehensive case. We heard from more than 60 witnesses and about 1,000 exhibits. In terms of the broader discussion, it will also, we heard a lot of quite shocking evidence about allegations that police had covered up for Mr. Noor in the immediate aftermath of the shooting and essentially manufactured an excuse for him. So that too will be discussed and scrutinised right across this country, and I suspect in Australia as well.
When do we know sentencing might occur?
So the Judge Catherine Quaintan, set a sentencing date of June 9. So as I understand it, the range is about 9 to 15 years. The average is about 12 years, though with good behaviour we expect that Mohamed Noor would serve about 9 to 10. As I understand it, here in Minnesota, those sentencing guidelines are fairly, they're pretty much stuck to. That's more or less what's imposed. So that's what we're expecting here, Virginia.
And is there any chance that Mohamed Noor might appeal?
Look, I certainly think there would be a chance that his legal team would be looking at that. They didn't mention an intention to do that in the court today, but throughout the hearing it's been fiercely contested by lawyers for both sides who have gotten into at times very heated debates about what evidence would be allowed in this case, and I'm certain that both lawyers and perhaps even police federations across the country will be looking at whether or not there are any grounds for appeal.